The massive alien ship appeared without warning, materializing just beyond Earth's moon. Its metallic surface gleamed under the distant sunlight, stretching nearly 10 kilometers from end to end. The ship's sudden arrival sent Earth's defense systems into high alert, but before any action could be taken, a transmission reached every major communication center on the planet. People of Earth, you are hereby notified of your inclusion into the greater Galactic Empire. Your primitive world has finally achieved the minimum requirements for integration. Prepare for our arrival and your inevitable advancement under Imperial guidance. Inside the United Earth Defense Command Center, Admiral James Miller watched the transmission with narrowed eyes. The message repeated itself in various languages, its tone becoming more condescending with each iteration. Around him, military officers and civilian leaders gathered, their faces illuminated by the holographic display of the massive ship. "They're not even asking," Miller said, his weathered face showing no sign of the anger he felt inside. "They're telling us." Dr. Anna Reed, Earth's leading Xenorchaeologist, rushed into the command center clutching a tablet. Her usual calm demeanor was replaced with urgent concern. "Admiral, you need to see this. We've decoded more of the ancient ruins in South America. Those artifacts weren't just telling stories, they were warnings." The command center grew quiet as she projected her findings. Images of distant worlds appeared, showing the Empire's systematic approach. First contact, integration, and then devastation. World after world, stripped of resources, their populations reduced to working in massive mining operations. "They've done this thousands of times," Reed explained, her voice steady but grim. "They call it integration, but it's invasion by another name. They drain planets dry and move on. The ruins we found, they're from survivors who tried to warn others." Miller turned to the assembled leaders. "We have options. Our quantum sensors show their technology isn't as advanced as they want us to believe. They've stolen most of it from other civilizations. What they have is quantity, not quality." General Robert Hayes, commander of Earth's Space Forces, stepped forward. "Our deep space probes have been watching them for months. Their ships use a standardized command frequency, one we can disrupt." The room erupted in discussion. Some argued for diplomatic solutions, others for immediate military action. But it was Lisa Chen, head of Earth's Science Council, who offered the most daring proposal. "We ban them," she said simply. The room fell silent. "Not just their ships or their people. We ban their entire empire from our solar system." Miller leaned forward, intrigued. "How?" Chen activated a holographic display showing Earth's latest defensive developments. "We've reversed engineered enough of their technology from crashed scout ships over the years. But instead of copying it, we improved it. Our shields don't just block attacks. They can prevent any unauthorized entry into our entire system." The next few hours were filled with intense planning. Earth had an advantage the Empire didn't expect: preparation. Years of studying alien technology combined with human innovation had produced defenses the Empire had never encountered. As the alien ship waited for Earth's submission, the planet's leaders made an unprecedented decision. Miller stood before the global broadcast system, his uniform pristine, his expression resolute. "To the greater Galactic Empire," he began, his voice carrying across space, "we have received your notification of integration. We have a response. No." He paused, letting the word hang in space. "The Sol system is hereby declared off-limits to your empire. Any attempt to enter our space will be met with immediate defensive action. We are not your subjects. We are not your resource pool. We are humanity, and we choose our own path." The Empire's ship shifted position, probably preparing for what they thought would be a simple show of force. They didn't realize that Earth's new planetary shield was already online, its quantum matrices spreading out through the solar system like an invisible net. The first warning shot from the Empire's ship dissipated harmlessly against Earth's shield. The return signal from Earth wasn't a weapon. It was a simple message, transmitted on all frequencies. "In T Troi forbidden." This is your own in-law UWAR. Aang. The stage was set. Humanity had drawn its line in the stars, and the Empire was about to learn that not all primitive worlds were easy targets. Some bite back. The Empire's response came 3 days later, not with weapons, but with a diplomatic vessel. The sleek ship, smaller than the first but still impressive, approached Earth's orbit carrying what they called a peace delegation. Commander Emma Stone watched from her defense station as the ship tried to find gaps in Earth's new shield. "They're testing us," she reported to Admiral Miller. "Running scans on every frequency we know of and probably some we don't." The diplomatic vessel's attempts to penetrate the shield continued for hours. Each scan, each probe, each subtle attempt at infiltration met the same result: complete failure. Earth's defense system, built from decades of secret preparation, held firm. Lord Grey, the Empire's chief diplomat, finally appeared on Earth's communication screens. His almost human appearance was unsettling, like someone had tried to make a human but got the details slightly wrong. His violet eyes narrowed as he spoke. "Your resistance is both foolish and illegal under Imperial law," he announced, his voice smooth but carrying an edge of threat. "The Empire brings prosperity, progress, order. Your primitive shields cannot last forever." Admiral Miller sat in his command chair, a slight smile on his face. "Primitive." He pressed a button on his console. "Let us show you something about Earth's primitives." Across the solar system, hidden installations activated. Quantum beacons lit up, creating a web of energy that made the Empire's sensors go wild. Then, in a display that made Lord Grey's eyes widen, Earth ships began appearing from seemingly nowhere. They weren't the clunky rockets the Empire expected. These were sleek vessels, their designs unlike anything in Imperial records. They moved with a grace that suggested mastery of gravity itself, using technology the Empire had never seen before. "Impossible," Lord Grey whispered. "Your species was barely reaching your moon a century ago." Commander Stone took over the transmission. "We learned something important from studying your crashed scout ships over the years," she said. "You don't innovate. You conquer and copy. But humans, we take ideas and make them better." To demonstrate her point, one of Earth's ships performed a maneuver that should have been impossible according to Imperial physics. It phased through space itself, reappearing instantly at another location without using any known form of FTL travel. "That's our own version of faster-than-light travel," Miller explained. "No stolen technology. Pure human innovation. We took the basic principles we learned from your wrecks and rebuilt them from the ground up." Lord Grey's diplomatic facade cracked. "The Empire will not be denied. We have conquered species far more advanced than yours." "Perhaps," Miller agreed, "but they weren't human." To emphasize Earth's position, Commander Stone activated the solar system's new defense grid. Thousands of small satellites, previously invisible to Imperial scans, revealed themselves. Each one carried a quantum disruption field generator, technology that could shut down any Imperial ship that dared to cross Earth's boundaries. "This is humanity's official declaration," Miller announced, standing up. "The Sol system is now a sovereign zone. No Imperial ships, traders, or representatives will be permitted to enter. Any attempt to violate this ban will be met with defensive action." Lord Grey's face turned an interesting shade of purple. "You cannot ban the Empire. We are the dominant force in this galaxy." "We just did," Stone replied simply. "And we're transmitting this declaration across all known frequencies, including those your Empire tries to keep secret. Every species in the galaxy will know that someone finally said no." The diplomatic vessel tried one last scan, more aggressive than before. In response, Earth's defense grid sent a focused pulse that temporarily disabled their non-essential systems. It was a warning shot that carried a clear message. Earth could do much worse if it wanted to. "You have 1 hour to leave the solar system," Miller said calmly. "After that, we'll consider any Imperial ship in our space a hostile act." As the diplomatic vessel retreated, its engines glowing in frustration. Commander Stone turned to Admiral Miller. "They'll be back with warships." Miller nodded. "Yes, they will. And we'll be ready." He looked at the tactical display showing Earth's defenses. For the first time in their history, the Empire will learn what it means to fight an enemy they didn't underestimate soon enough. The line had been drawn, the declaration was made, and humanity prepared for the storm they knew was coming. The Empire's research fleet arrived exactly 1 month after Lord Grey's departure. 5 large ships, each bristling with what they poorly disguised as scientific equipment, approached the edge of the solar system. Captain Tom Walker, commanding Earth's Outer Defense Squadron, watched them with practiced calm. "They're not even trying to hide their weapons anymore," he noted to his crew aboard the EDS Defender. "Those aren't research vessels. They're battle cruisers with some extra antennae stuck on." The Imperial ships moved slowly, testing the boundaries of Earth's declared exclusion zone. Their actions looked peaceful on the surface, but Walker had studied Empire tactics. This was their standard first move: probe with overwhelming force while maintaining plausible deniability. "All ships maintain position," Walker ordered his squadron. "Let Project Aegis do its work." Project Aegis, Earth's automated defense system, had been waiting for this moment. As the first Imperial ship crossed the boundary, hidden quantum satellites activated. There was no dramatic light show, no visible beam, just the sudden shutdown of every major system aboard the Imperial vessels. The Empire's ships, their engines dead and weapons powerless, drifted to a stop. Emergency lights flickered across their hulls as backup systems tried and failed to activate. Walker allowed himself a small smile as panic spread through the Imperial fleet. "This is Captain Tom Walker of Earth Defense," he transmitted to the stranded ships. "Your vessels have violated sovereign space. As per our declaration, defensive measures have been activated." The Imperial Fleet Commander's response was immediate and angry. "Our engines are dead. What have you done to our ships?" "Nothing permanent," Walker replied calmly. "Yet, your systems will reactivate once you drift back across the boundary. Consider this a practical demonstration of our warnings." As he spoke, Earth's defense ships emerged from their hiding spots among the outer asteroids. They weren't trying to look impressive. They were proving a point. Each Earth vessel moved with precision that the now powerless Imperial ships could only dream of. "Impossible," the Imperial commander sputtered. "Your technology can't be this advanced. We are the Empire." "No," Walker corrected him. "You're just the biggest bullies in the playground. Until now." To demonstrate his point, Walker ordered one of his ships to approach the nearest Imperial vessel. The Earth ship's quantum drives hummed quietly as it maneuvered around the dead Imperial craft, scanning it openly. "We've learned something interesting about your technology," Walker continued, his voice carrying a hint of amusement. "It's all stolen, copied, borrowed from worlds you conquered. But you never truly understood how it works. We did better. We learned the principles and built our own." The Imperial ships had begun to drift back toward the boundary line. As each crossed back over, their systems slowly reactivated. Walker knew they were recording everything, analyzing every detail they could about Earth's defenses. "Let me be clear," Walker announced on all frequencies. "This was your only free lesson. The next violation of our space will be considered an act of war. We will respond accordingly." As the Imperial ships retreated, Walker received a private communication from Admiral Miller back on Earth. "Good work, Captain," Miller said. "How did they react?" "Like all bullies when someone stands up to them," Walker replied. "First disbelief, then anger, then fear. They'll be back, though, with more ships." Miller nodded on the screen. "Of course they will. But now, they know our warnings aren't empty threats. And the whole galaxy will know too." Sure enough, within hours, the news spread across the galaxy's communication networks. The impossible had happened. A primitive world had not only rejected the Empire, but had humiliated an Imperial fleet without firing a single shot. As Walker watched the last Imperial ship disappear into FTL, he knew this was just the beginning. The Empire wouldn't take this embarrassment lightly. They would return with everything they had. But humanity was ready. They had spent decades preparing for this moment, and now the galaxy would learn why you should never underestimate Earth. The Empire's full invasion force arrived like a metal storm. Over 300 warships dropped out of FTL travel at once, their massive forms blocking out the stars. Admiral Miller stood in Earth's Central Command, watching the tactical display with steady eyes as the largest invasion fleet in Imperial history approached the solar system. They brought everything, Commander Stone reported, her hands moving across the control panels. Dreadnoughts, carriers, planet crackers. They're not holding anything back. The Imperial fleet's formation was perfect, a testament to thousands of years of military tradition. At their center, a massive command ship nearly twice the size of the others led the charge. Its commander's transmission reached Earth on all frequencies. "Primitive world," the Imperial fleet commander's voice boomed. "Your defiance ends today. Surrender now, and we may spare your major cities." Miller looked at Dr. Reed, who nodded. Their sensors confirmed what they had suspected. The Empire had upgraded their ships with new shielding, thinking they had figured out Earth's defense system. "All stations," Miller ordered calmly, "activate the quantum disruption field. Full spread." Across the solar system, Earth's hidden defense platforms came to life. But this time, something was different. The Imperial ships didn't stop. Their new shields glowed brightly as they pushed forward, seemingly immune to the effect that had disabled their previous fleet. The Imperial commander laughed. "Did you think we wouldn't adapt? Your primitive tricks won't work twice." Miller smiled. "We were counting on that." He turned to Stone. "Show them why you don't bring stolen technology to a fight with its original inventors." Commander Stone activated Earth's true defense system. The quantum disruption field suddenly shifted frequency, transforming into something new. The Empire's copied shields, based on technology they didn't fully understand, began to overload. "What's happening?" the Imperial commander demanded as his shift shields started to glow too brightly. "Simple physics," Stone replied. "You copied the shield designs from the Arcturus sector. We know because we helped design them. You never wondered why those plans were so easy to steal." Across the Imperial fleet, shields began to fail in cascading waves. But instead of shutting down, they fed back into the ship's power systems, causing system-wide failures. The perfect formation broke apart as ships tried to deal with the overload. Then Earth's defense fleet emerged from hiding. Unlike the previous encounter, these ships were armed for war. They moved through the disabled Imperial ships with precision, their weapons targeting engines and weapon systems with surgical accuracy. "This is your final warning," Miller broadcast. "Withdraw now." The Imperial commander's response was predictable. The remaining functional ships launched everything they had: missiles, energy beams, and exotic weapons Earth had never seen before. They impacted Earth's shields in a display that lit up the sky. When the light faded, Earth's shields remained intact. The return fire was precise and devastating. Earth's ships, using their superior maneuverability and refined technology, disabled dozens of Imperial vessels within minutes. "How?" The Imperial commander's voice had lost its arrogance. "You're supposed to be primitive. We let you think that," Miller explained. "While you were busy conquering worlds, we were learning, improving, preparing. Every piece of technology you stole from other worlds. We made it better." The battle lasted less than an hour. When it ended, the mighty Imperial fleet drifted powerless in space, their crews alive but their ships useless. Earth's casualties were minimal. Their shields, designed with true understanding rather than copied knowledge, had held. Miller looked at the tactical display showing the disabled Imperial fleet. "Send in the rescue ships," he ordered. "Let's show them how primitives treat their prisoners." As Earth's medical and rescue vessels moved among the defeated Imperial ships, The message was clear. Humanity hadn't just defeated the Empire's greatest fleet. They had done it while maintaining their humanity. The news would spread faster than light across the galaxy. The undefeated Empire had finally met its match, not in superior numbers or weaponry, but in the innovative spirit of a species they had fatally underestimated. And this was just the beginning. News of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Within days, the quantum communication networks that the Empire thought were secure buzzed with the incredible story. A primitive world had not just defeated but completely humiliated the Empire's greatest fleet. Commander Emma Stone stood before representatives from 20 different conquered worlds aboard Earth's new space station. These delegates had come in secret, risking everything to meet with the humans who had done the impossible. "We watched your battle," said one delegate, his blue skin shimmering under the station's lights. "You could have destroyed them all, but you didn't." Stone nodded. "Earth doesn't seek destruction. We seek freedom. For ourselves, and now for others." The meeting room's display showed recordings of the battle. The delegates watched in amazement as the footage revealed how Earth's ships had disabled the Imperial fleet while minimizing casualties. It wasn't just victory, it was victory with mercy. "We've lived under Imperial rule for centuries." Another delegate spoke, her crystalline form catching the light. "They told us resistance was impossible, that their technology was supreme." Admiral Miller entered the room, carrying data crystals. "They lied. Most of their supreme technology was stolen from your worlds. We've proven it can be beaten." He placed the crystals on the table. "These contain plans for defensive systems like ours. Not copies, but new designs, built from basic principles. Systems the Empire can't counter, because they don't understand the science behind them." The room erupted in excited discussion. Hope, long dead in these conquered peoples, began to spark again. "But we must be careful," Stone warned. "The Empire still has numbers on their side. We need to be smart about this." Over the next several hours, they formed the Free Systems Alliance. Earth would provide the technical knowledge, while the other worlds would contribute their own unique insights and resources. Together, they would help one world at a time break free from Imperial control. Back on Earth, Dr. Reed worked with scientists from the Allied worlds, combining their knowledge to create even better defensive systems. "It's amazing," she told Miller. "Each species sees things differently. Together, we're making discoveries the Empire never could." The Empire, reeling from their defeat, began to face internal problems. Many of their subject worlds, inspired by Earth's victory, started passive resistance. Imperial ships found their resupply points mysteriously delayed. Repair facilities reported unexpected shortages. Then came the first official break. A small system at the edge of Imperial space activated their new defensive grid, technology clearly based on Earth's designs, but modified for their specific needs. When the Imperial ships arrived to punish them, they found themselves powerless, just like at Earth. 3 more systems have declared independence, Stone reported to Miller a week later. "Our allies are spreading the technology faster than the Empire can adapt." Miller watched the galactic map as more systems began showing up as independent. "The Empire made a crucial mistake," he said. "They built their power on stolen technology they never truly understood. Now that knowledge is becoming their weakness." The Empire tried to respond with brute force, but each attempt failed. Earth's defensive technology, freely shared and adapted by other worlds, proved unbeatable. More importantly, the spirit of resistance spread, the knowledge that freedom was possible. In the meeting room, Stone addressed the growing alliance. "We're not here to become a new empire," she declared. "Each world that breaks free chooses its own path. We're here to help, not rule." One of the delegates stood. "The Empire called Earth primitive because you weren't conquered like us. Now we understand. You remained free because you never stopped thinking for yourselves." Miller smiled. "Freedom breeds innovation. Innovation breeds strength. Together, We'll show the galaxy there's a better way than conquest. As more worlds joined the alliance, a new age began to dawn. The Empire, which had ruled through stolen power and fear, found itself facing something it had never encountered before. Worlds united not by force, but by choice. And at the center of it all was Earth, the planet that had dared to say no to an empire. And in doing so, had changed the galaxy forever. The imperial capital was in chaos. Reports of systems breaking free arrived daily. The Empire's mighty fleets found themselves powerless against Earth's spreading technology. In their desperation, the Imperial Council made a fatal decision. They would use their most terrible weapon, the Planet Killer. Admiral Miller received the warning from their spies within the Empire. They're bringing something big, he told the Earth Defense Council. A weapon they've never used before. The Planet Killer emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. It was massive, an artificial moon of metal and energy, built from the combined knowledge of 1,000 conquered worlds. Its very presence caused instruments to go wild. "This is your last chance," the Imperial commander's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Surrender, or we will demonstrate true power." Captain Tom Walker, now commanding Earth's outer defense fleet, watched his sensors as they analyzed the weapon. "Sir," he called Miller, "they've built it using technology from every world they've conquered. It's like they threw everything they had into one weapon." Miller smiled. This was exactly what they had expected. "Deploy the soul barrier," he ordered. Commander Stone activated Earth's ultimate defense system. A shimmering field of energy expanded from hidden stations throughout the solar system. Unlike their previous shields, this was something entirely new. A barrier created through true understanding of universal laws. The Planet Killer fired. A beam of pure destruction, powered by the combined energy of stolen technologies, struck the soul barrier. The sky lit up brighter than 1,000 suns. But when the light faded, Earth remained untouched. The soul barrier had held. "Impossible," the Imperial commander screamed. "Nothing can withstand the Planet Killer." "You still don't understand," Miller replied calmly. "Your weapon is built from stolen pieces, parts that were never meant to work together. We knew you'd try something like this." Stone's fingers flew across her console. "Sir, the weapon's energy patterns, they're exactly what we predicted. Should I activate the reflection protocol?" Miller nodded. This was the moment they had prepared for. The soul barrier changed frequency. Instead of absorbing the Planet Killer's next shot, it caught the energy and sent it back. Not as a weapon, but as a precisely tuned wave that caused all the incompatible technologies in the Imperial weapon to react with each other. The Planet Killer began to tear itself apart. "What's happening?" The Imperial commander's voice shook with fear. "Basic science," Walker explained, as his ships moved to safe distance. "You built a weapon from technologies that were never meant to mix. We just helped them separate." The Planet Killer's destruction was spectacular but controlled. Earth's barrier contained the explosion, protecting even the Imperial ships from their own weapons' death. As the debris settled, Miller transmitted to the Imperial fleet. "Your greatest weapon failed. Not because of our superior technology, but because you never understood what you stole." He nodded to Stone, who activated their ship's special systems. "Now let us show you something we built ourselves." Earth's fleet moved in perfect formation. Energy beams lanced out, not to destroy but to disable. Within minutes, the mighty Imperial fleet was powerless, their engines dead, their weapons silent. Captain Walker led the boarding team onto the Imperial command ship. They met no resistance. The crew was too shocked by their complete defeat. In the ship's databanks, they found what they had suspected, proof that the Empire's technological superiority was built entirely on theft and conquest. "Send this to every world in the galaxy," Miller ordered. "Let them all see the truth." As the data spread, the last remnants of Imperial authority crumbled. The Empire had gambled everything on their ultimate weapon, not realizing that their greatest weakness was their failure to understand what they had stolen. The planet killer's destruction marked the end of an era. The empire that had ruled through stolen power for thousands of years had finally met its match, not in superior firepower, but in humanity's true understanding of the universe's laws. Earth had not just defended itself. It had shown the galaxy a better way. 1 year after the planet killer's destruction, the galaxy had changed completely. The mighty empire had broken into dozens of independent regions, each choosing its own path forward. Earth's banner flew over the newly established Galactic Council station, not as a symbol of rule, but as a reminder of the power of independence. Admiral Miller stood before the assembled representatives of former imperial worlds. The meeting chamber was filled with beings of all shapes and sizes, each now speaking for their own free systems. "The age of conquest is over," Miller announced. "But our work is just beginning." Commander Stone, now serving as Earth's chief diplomatic officer, brought up a holographic display of the galaxy. Hundreds of points of light showed worlds that had adopted Earth's defensive technology, each modified to suit their unique needs. "We've proven that freedom works better than control," Stone said. "Every world that broke free has made advances the Empire never dreamed possible." Dr. Reed presented her latest findings to the Council. When worlds work together by choice, share knowledge freely, and build on each other's discoveries, we all grow stronger. The Empire's way of stealing and copying held everyone back. The proof was in the numbers. Worlds that had been stagnant under imperial rule were now making breakthrough discoveries. Trade between free systems had doubled, then tripled. Without the Empire's restrictions, species were free to develop their own technology and share their innovations. Captain Walker, who had led many of the liberation missions, reported on the former Imperial Core worlds. "Even the worlds that were once the heart of the Empire are doing better," he said. "They're learning to build rather than steal, to trade rather than take." The new Galactic Trading Network, based on Earth's principles of fair exchange, had replaced the Empire's forced tribute system. Ships now moved freely between stars, carrying goods and ideas instead of weapons and troops. "But what about protection?" asked one of the newer council members. "The Empire at least kept order." Miller smiled and activated another display. It showed the new defense network, a voluntary system where worlds could share their defensive capabilities while maintaining their independence. "The Free Systems Alliance doesn't force anyone to join," he explained. "We share our knowledge freely. Each world decides its own level of participation." Stone added, "And that's why it works better than the Empire ever did. When people choose to work together, they build something stronger than any force could create." The council chamber erupted in approving sounds from a dozen different species. They had all seen the truth of these words in their own systems. Earth's example had changed more than just political systems. The very way species thought about technology and progress had shifted. Instead of trying to steal advances from each other, worlds now competed to make new discoveries they could share. "There will always be challenges," Miller acknowledged. "But we face them as equals now, not as rulers and subjects." The former imperial capital, once a symbol of oppression, had been transformed into a center of learning. Scientists from hundreds of worlds now worked together there, combining their knowledge to solve problems the Empire had never even tried to address. "Earth's greatest gift to us wasn't the technology," one of the elder council members said. "It was showing us that being different doesn't mean we have to be enemies." As the council session ended, Miller looked out at the stars through the station's vast windows. The galaxy looked different now, brighter somehow, with ships of all designs moving freely between the stars. "Did you ever think saying no to the Empire would lead to all this?" Stone asked him. Miller shook his head. "We just wanted to protect our home. But sometimes standing up for yourself shows others they can do the same." The final reports showed a galaxy transforming. Trade was up, conflicts were down, and scientific progress was accelerating beyond all predictions. The Free Systems Alliance had proved that cooperation was stronger than conquest, that innovation beat imitation, and that freedom was the greatest power of all. Earth's ban on the Empire had done more than protect one world. It had freed a galaxy.